So it took a bit, but the Nokia 7.2 is finally in. And straight away what I really like is this color. This is a really nice color. I really enjoy that. Especially because, well, the Samsung Galaxy S10 I also have in that type of color. I just enjoy that color overall on a phone. What I really appreciate is also that we now have a rounded camera. This is somewhat reminiscent of the Nokia Lumia series, at least a rounded camera setup. But there are of course some key differences. This is a mid-range, that was a high-end phone. But what I really appreciate is just the design overall of this phone and how they ditched that notch that they had on the Nokia 8.1. I really didn't like that notch, but this looks so much better. Now while this has a matte finish, you can tell that fingerprints are still on there, but it's okay, it's not the worst. On the front you can easily tell, but let's just start it up and see the display for the first time. Again, I really appreciate the design of this one. Still, we have of course our chin and the notch itself, and of course there is a bit more top bezel than some other phones out there, but again, this is a mid-range phone, so I wouldn't be worried too much about it. In terms of display, we have a pure display with Pixelworks visual processor. It's a 6.3 inch Full HD Plus resolution with a 19 by 5 by 9 ratio. Anyway, let's set up this device and I'll get back to you. Now in terms of general specifications, we have a Snapdragon 660, which is a bit of a downsize. I feel like they could have gone for a Snapdragon 710, 730 or the 730G. The 660 was already there on the Nokia 7 Plus, so I feel like they could have gone with a newer one, especially for this price. Next to that you have 4 or 6 GB of RAM, you have a 3500 mAh battery and you have 10 watt fast charging included in the box. In terms of memory, you have either 64 or 128 GB, but you can expand that via the microSD up to 512 GB. Now in terms of camera, we have size optics, where the main one is a 48 megapixel sensor with a 1.8 aperture. The second one is an 8 megapixel wide sensor with an f2.2 aperture, and then we have a 5 megapixel depth sensor. You can record video up to 4K and 30 frames per second, and of course you have your 1080p and 30 frames per second as well with gyroscope electrical image stabilization. In terms of the front, you have a 20 megapixel f2.0 aperture and you can record video up to 1080p and 30 frames per second. And the base price for this phone in euros is 329 euros. Okay, so we're back and everything is now set up so we can discuss a bit about the phone itself. Now, like I said, I do appreciate the design of this device, especially in this color. It does feel nice in the hand, it's not too slippery. You can tell it uses different materials. I'm not 100% sure, I'm gonna look into that properly. I think the frame itself is made out of plastic polycarbonate, to be named properly. The back is still made out of glass, but of course they did some effect on it, so it's now this frosted-like effect on it. I really like that on the OnePlus 7 as well, or the OnePlus 7T in my case, and the OnePlus 7T Pro. But I really like this texture feel on the back. It's better than just glass because of glass. Also, I just saw Nokia 8.2. Okay, we're gonna look into that later. Snapdragon 735, but anyway. This is quite an interesting device. I'm looking forward to how this one performs. Again, the Nokia 7 Plus was my favorite out of all the Nokias that I've used. And I'm really curious how this one will perform, especially in terms of camera. Again, what I always appreciate when it comes to Nokia is how they use their colors. Their color science is on par for me. I really enjoy their colors. And it's something that makes it stand out for me. And that is the main reason why I would advise a Nokia device. The build quality is one thing, but also of course the color science behind that camera. So I'm gonna test that out and see how it performs. But for now, this was the unboxing for the Nokia 7.2. Now stay tuned though, because it's not only the Nokia 7.2 that was sent to me for a limited time though, sadly. I also have the Nokia 800 TUF, so do keep an eye on this one. I'm gonna test it out and see how this one performs and how rugged it is, because that's gonna be a really interesting video. I imagine dropping it from height, of course, putting in it eyes and all that stuff. So we're gonna find out how this one performs. And by the way, I can tell you also have WhatsApp and Facebook on it, but this is kind of a dumb phone mix. But we'll see how this one performs later on. Anyway, the Nokia 7.2, it's an interesting device and I'm looking forward how this one will perform. Let me know in the comments below what you want to know about the Nokia 7.2. I'm gonna make a special video for that and answering your questions about this device. Anyway, have a good one and talk to you guys in the next.